Hello, theater addicts. My name is Danielle Benson, and I am about to review Baba Yaga and the Black Flower at the Falls Creek Gym by Victor Barkar of the Vancouver Puppet Theater. Now, I'm really excited about this because Karen Flynn and I actually interviewed Victor for the Fringe interviews, and I got to see his puppets, and I'm so excited. And I'm also very curious because this is an all-ages show, but the performance that I'm seeing is at 9 p.m. So I thought this would be really good to have like an adult, to fill up the adult section a little bit, because I can't imagine that a lot of children will be there at 9 p.m. So I'm very excited. I know this is based on a Russian fairy tale. I know that there is singing, and I know that there are puppets, and I am so excited. I will see you afterwards. Baba Yaga and the Black Flower made me wish I was a kid again, so I could sit down on the floor in the front with all the kids and see the puppets up close. But unfortunately I'm an adult, so I had to sit in a chair like an adult. And one thing that I would warn is at the Falls Creek Gym, the eye lines are not great for puppet show, which is mostly on the floor. It's a typical marionette setting, so you've got the kind of puppet theater with the background that changes and the puppets go in front of it. And then there's also an area above where some puppets do go up above, but it's not nearly as often as the puppets that are on the floor. So if you do have kids, make sure that they are sitting in the front on the floor, because that is definitely the best view. As far as if you have to sit in a chair like an adult, make sure that you can see the center of the stage, because most of the puppets are happening in that area that has the background. All the puppets are of course operated from above, so it's a very limited amount of the stage that can be used. I personally, if this was aimed at adults, which it isn't, if this was aimed at adults, I would have moved the marionette stage further back so that it would have been easier for the people in the chairs to see the puppets. But this is definitely a kids show, and the 9 o'clock performance did only have one child at it, so we were all being big kids to make sure that the interactive element still happened. But there is a space on the floor. There's a little red blanket thing on the floor for the kids to sit on, so that is an option for the kids, and then they'll be able to see it perfectly. It's not scary. It's not a scary show. It's not scary lighting. It's the preview kind of made it look a little bit more spooky than it is. It's a very classic tale of kind of evil witch kidnaps princess, and there is a happy ending. I won't give too much away, but there is a happy ending, so you don't need to worry about that. I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's reasonably standard in most fairy tales. It is short as well. It's only 30 minutes, which again I assume is because the audience is mostly children. I definitely wanted to see more. I wanted to see more puppets. I also wanted to see more of the life-size, well, not life-size, but they have larger versions of the puppets, which are used very sparingly, and I would love to see more of those, maybe to come through the audience. I know that it's a bit of a kind of a no-no to see the operator while the puppets are being operated, but I'd rather have the puppets come through the audience and see the operator, I don't care, than have them stuck to that one part of the stage, because I'm a puppet file, I guess. Just one note, I think it was advertised as a musical. I'm gonna have to double check that. It does have music, but there isn't any singing, or there wasn't any singing in tonight's performance. Unless, of course, that changes for the kids. I'm not 100% sure. So that was a little bit sad, because I really wanted to see the puppets sing. The music itself does stop and start quite obviously, and I think if there was anything I would change, it would be to smooth the music out a little bit, make it a little bit more of a softer fade in and fade out as it changes from scene to scene, or even have it going quietly in the background. I know that means it's competition for the voice, but Victor Barkar does wear a microphone, so I don't see that being an issue. And I think it would have helped with the atmosphere of the forest and of the cottage and the different scenes if there had been, very quiet, low-level music going the whole time, instead of having it come in and come out so obviously. The puppets are just beautifully made. I wish there were more of them. There's only 4 or 5 characters in this piece, and I wish there were more, because I would love to see more of the detail. The central character, Baba Yaga, is created by Victor Barkar, and she's a beautiful piece of work. Her face specifically is very detailed. The other puppets are actually I believe, inherited. They're older, and they've been around for, I believe, about 60 years. And they have amazing detail in the costumes as well as the faces. But Baba Yaga is definitely my favorite, so Victor Barkar is definitely doing something right there. The story is quite simple. It is a kid's play again. So as an adult who watches a lot of marionette shows like Ronnie Burkett and that kind of thing, there's not a lot of subtlety or complexity to the plot, so I wouldn't go expecting that. If you do watch a lot of adult marionette show, this is definitely for children. It is a more simple story. It is still beautiful. There are a couple of jokes in there for you to chuckle at, but it is mostly geared at kids. And I wish I was a kid. I would absolutely have loved sitting on the floor and interacting with these puppets. My name is Danielle Benson. I have been reviewing Baba Yaga and the Black Flower at the False Creek Gym. I'd love to hear what you think of it. I'd especially love to hear what your kids think of it. If you have kids who are going out, or if you know kids who are going out to see it, I'd love to hear what their responses are, because obviously I'm an adult and it's a little bit different for me. And do subscribe so that you continue to hear about any exciting interviews or articles or reviews that are coming out for Theater Addicts.